And there they are, the 9 prettiest ones for the plate. Pitted prunes. For this recipe I'm using half a cup, and also I've got here some Chilean sun-dried pitted cherries, just over half a cup of those. Just wanted to show you, not that anybody needs any advice on how to chop up fruit, but when you buy these packs of dried fruit, it is a good idea to chop them up by hand, because sometimes you might find a stone left in there, and nobody wants to find a stone in the mince pie. So I'm chopping them up by hand, because with the knife I'll be able to feel if there's a stone remaining, saving Grandpa biting down and breaking his tooth on Christmas Day and an emergency visit to the dentist. Feels like there's nothing, but you just never know. Okay, once those are all thoroughly checked, I'm going to pop them in this pan with a bit of water and put them over onto the stove to cook. I'm going to also add a chopped up apple, the juice and zest of 1 lemon, and then I'm going to sweeten it to taste with my sugar replacement, which in this case is totally sweet. This product, which is xylitol, remember guys, keep your xylitol and erythritol and all of those sweeteners which are not chemical artificial sweeteners. They're not nasty aspartame based, they are made of plants. They're very sweet. You can use them as a total sugar replacement. They're great for diabetics or if people who are on a low carb diet, but do keep them away from your pets because they will kill your dog. Nobody wants that at Christmas time or any other time of the year. There we go. But I'll add this, I won't add this now, I'm going to add it into taste, because the thing with these mince pies is they are the complete opposite to your shop bought mince pies. They are not overly sweet and they are not going to spike your blood sugar or give you diabetes. So I cooked my chopped up prunes and cherries for a little while with about half a cup of water. Didn't want them to, obviously didn't want them to burn, but needed them to soften, and that started happening now. Now they're already getting nice and sticky. I'm now going to add some unsalted butter. This is organic butter. We want about 2 tablespoons of that, so that's about 2 tablespoons, about 2 ounces or 50 grams. There we go. Melt into there, and juice of a lemon, which I'd already taken the zest off my lemon. Oh, I thought I'd taken all the pips out as well, but there's more. That's an organic unwaxed lemon. I'm going to fish all those pips out in just a moment. There's this chopped up zest of that same lemon. That's going to go in there. I'm also going to be adding flaked almonds, but I'll add them at the end. I'm going to put my apple in. And while that's cooking down, you can add water as you go. If you find it's a bit dry, you don't want it to catch, it doesn't harm it, because all you do is just cook it a little bit longer till all the water's evaporated. And then when that's finished cooking, I'm going to taste the sweetness of it, taste how much sugar it needs, or sweetness rather, because we're not using sugar. So we have here mixed spice. I'm going to add a teaspoon of that one. We've got ground cinnamon. I'm going to add a teaspoon of that one. Ground ginger, love ginger, plenty of that. A teaspoon in there, and some very lazy ground nutmeg. I think these spices are, I think that nutmeg might be about as old as I am, so there's not going to be a lot of flavour in that one, but never mind. Your nutmeg will be nice and fresh, I'm sure. Use my Christmas, beautiful Christmas spatula, there it is, and lovely. I'm going to pop that back on the heat and cook it down till the apple is cooked and the flavours have all incorporated. Adding water, as I say, as you need to. Don't worry if it gets a bit wet, you just cook the water off, and that will be my mincemeat finished. So my mincemeat's finished cooking. You can see it's thickened up, it's got more sticky. In the end, I added 2 tablespoons of this sweetener. You could also use erythritol, you could use stevia. Some people like stevia, other people find it bitter. There are several low-carb sweeteners on the market. Another option would be monk fruit sweetener, but I can never seem to be able to get that in England. It just doesn't seem to happen very often. Well, not on Amazon anyway. So if you can get that one, that's great, because I think that is actually one of the best. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of flaked almonds and 1 cupful of optional Napoleon brandy. You don't have to add the brandy, entirely up to you, but I mix that in there, and that's now ready. Set that aside, let it continue cooling whilst I make my pastry. So moving on to making the keto pastry, I put the dry ingredients into this food processor, and that was 1 cup of almond flour, which is also simply ground almonds, 1/4 cup of coconut flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of gluten-free xanthan gum, which is another powder. You can buy this in health food stores, you can buy it on Amazon. A pinch of salt, and then you simply blend that up, pulse it a few times, and then you're going to add 3 ounces of cold butter, 1.5 ounces of cream cheese. I just used Philadelphia. I didn't find organic Philadelphia or organic cream cheese, but this one we'll have to do today. All of the other ingredients are organic, and 1 egg. And this one came complete with its own feather, which I thought was very sweet. My organic free-range eggs, pop that in there, and we're going to pulse this round, and it will then go in the fridge. Once it's formed a lump, it's going to go in the fridge for half an hour. So just pulse this first and pop that in the fridge, which will make it much easier when it comes to rolling it out. So there's my mincemeat. It's cooled down now, ready to go. I'm pretty pleased with that. It tastes quite a lot to me. It tastes very similar to commercial mincemeat, except it's really low sugar. I mean, commercial mincemeat is more sugar than anything else, and it's just sugar and glucose syrup, and then really high sugar fruits as well, and then it's got seed oils in it, especially if it's vegan. This is, by comparison, a much healthier product made of real food. Plums and cherries, they're both very low in glycemic index fruits, low in sugar, that means. I used an apple in there. It's got whole flaked almonds. Well, you know the ingredients, you can read them on the description below. I've put the whole recipe into the description, and that's pretty good. It's nice and sticky. It tastes lovely with the spices in it. So that's ready to go. Just waiting for the pastry to chill down. I'm going to make one more batch of pastry up so that I've just got plenty, because I seem to have absolute buckets of mincemeat here. And then I'll get to rolling out the pastry and popping my mince pies in the oven. And the pastry, as you saw, is also, pastry is very ketogenic, gluten-free, made with almond flour, coconut flour, and the other ingredients that you saw, the Philadelphia or the cream cheese, the egg. When it comes to rolling out your keto-friendly almond pastry, you can kind of give it a bit of a squish together if it's not in a good shape. It's pretty workable. It's not like short crust pastry made with wheat flour that you need to handle like hardly at all, or it goes tough. And what I do is just keep lifting the greaseproof paper so it doesn't cover it in wrinkles, and rolling it out a little bit at a time and then turning it. You might find when you get to the middle that it's a little bit thick still, so you can just put the greaseproof paper back on top, give it another quick roll in the middle, and then any small bits, the offcuts, you can squash them all back together, and we'll use those to roll out the stars for the tops. And it's pretty easy, it doesn't crumble, and it doesn't stick to the paper, which is brilliant. Gently peel them off, pop them in the tin. Last one, and there's my 12 cases. That recipe gives you enough for, as you can see, 12 mince pies and little stars for the tops. Stars for the tops are so much easier. This is just getting a bit warm, so it's getting a bit sticky to extract. extract the last couple of stars. If it gets a bit warm, you can just pop it back in the fridge. 12 stars. I've filled each case up with a spoonful of the mincemeat mixture. That was a bit deformed. Never mind, on he goes. 12 stars, 12 cases. There they are. And I'm going to put some egg wash over those and pop them in the oven. Egg wash being an egg beaten up, brushed over the top. Make them go a lovely brown colour in the oven. Going to go in the oven for about, depends on your oven. My mum's oven is pretty fierce. I've put it on 180 degrees, that's about 370 Fahrenheit. Oh dear, that one's really wonky. Never mind. We'll use that as the sample tasting one. And about 15 minutes. And there is my finished product. Very pleased with those. That's just the 10 prettiest ones on this plate, and I've sprinkled them with icing sugar alternative. I used this 100% natural erythritol, which is another like xylitol. It does act and taste just like icing sugar with a slightly cold taste, but it's prettied up the tops. They look like they're sprinkled with snow, and I will put the full recipe below in the description. I hope you have time to get the ingredients and make some yourself, because they're really nice and super healthy. They have each one of these has about 4 grams of carbohydrate. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And there they are, the 9 prettiest ones